good day today. We ended up, you had the increased humidity, although it got pretty warm for us this afternoon. It kind of came in, and then it kind of went away. And so now we're getting this second pulse of moisture. So I'm just going to go around the horn here and kind of let you know what happened on this. But we had a little bit of activity that took off last night, and then we've been dealing with it all day today. So we had a slop that got across the 600 road here. And then what it did is the winds would come in this direction. So what happened was that fire started to get lined up kind of parallel with the drainage. And so it started flanking us. So the guys worked all night long. They went ahead and picked up the bottom part of this spot. But then it ended up continuing on, and it just gave us heck all day. About 2 miles worth of flames is what we had. So that culminated, it kind of started making a run down to, for those of you who not know some of these drainages, Gold Creek. We started having McFarland Creek. So what we did is we had the guys were a little bit concerned, and they started and they pulled the level 3 evacuation for about 70 homes that are in both of those two drainages. So we worked it. We had the scoopers out of both out of Moses Lake, worked this very hard, and then this evening, with the exception of one small group of houses at the upper end, we went back to level 2 and had those residents go back this evening down here and here. Now some of that is when you talk with Gold Creek, which Gold Creek is it? There's the South Fork, there's the Middle Fork, there's Gold Creek itself. So for the most part, we feel pretty good that this is the case. We do know we're going to get some precipitation out of this storm, so we're comfortable that that level 2, that be ready, will be okay. So we got that. The rest of it looks pretty good. We're looking at another team. So you remember when we ended up taking over for Chris Schulte's team, similar stuff is going on with the Okanagan complex up there. So Mike Minton, who's the other IC, he and I are talking, and we're going to kind of work this out tomorrow between our staffs for what's going to happen on the Chelan Complex fire. Good news on the First Creek. Finally down to this last little bit. So we just got a little bit of stuff left to do. We feel pretty confident that tonight we'll have that connected. So once we get connected, then all we have to do is hold it and make sure it's secure. So with that, we may finally start to see the end of the road here, which will be good because we can reduce that evacuation level as well. So let's talk a little bit about what happened here. That's why you're all here. So we saw the big cloud that went up yesterday, right? So I'm sure many of you have been up here. We had this area right here. And it's kind of interesting when that happens. Remember me talking about how a fire has to chew and it's got to eat, it's got to find heavy fuel? Well, that's what it did yesterday. It went ahead and it did that, and it was trying to get around the clone fire, sorry. So about 650, maybe 1,000 acres, that's what that was, very heavy timber. When you look at it in terms of it's a 60,000 acre fire, 1,000 is not that much in the large scale of it, but it got all the attention. The wind fortunately took all this smoke and took it to the north. So we didn't have that impacting the community down here into Entiat or even over into Plain and Leavenworth. Still good on this part. Everything's good. It has not crossed over. So I'll tell you about the actions that we're doing right now. I'm hoping you guys have seen all the extra vehicles that have been here because we've got about 150 people over in this side in Entiat corridor. We're doing a lot of stuff here. We've done the prep work. It was still a little bit hot for us to keep up in Tommy Creek, but we're still thinking this is going to be viable. Depending on how much rain we get out of the storm, if we get like a ½ inch, we think we'll still be able to do something here and maybe be a little bit more direct, but we'll just have to see what the fire does for us. In the interim, we've been looking at all these fuel treatments, all these fire scars to see if we can go and get something there. But we have started doing some of this up in Preston Fox. We started doing some of this work in here, so that you'll see some dozer line. We started looking at the Tyee country. We got some stuff that's going here. And then we always talk in terms of we want to have a catcher's mitt. So if everything else fails, we want a catcher's mitt that does that. So we've been looking at this country from Big Meadows, where the Big Meadow Road is, over to Sugarloaf. So that's what we're kind of looking down over here. I gotta find it again. May be off this map. We're going to tie into where Fish Lake is here and try to come this way. And we'll actually end up coming all the way over. We think we can go ahead and protect Entiat. We can also protect Plain as well. So large scale, that's what we got. We got a number of things that are happening simultaneous. we're going to relocate our camp too. So we've started that process. So where we've been over in Chelan, this is going to kind of start to not be the focus now. We can finally put this to bed and concentrate over here. So we're going to move our camp. We're going to have a pretty large spike camp. It's going to be there right down here where the state park is. We're also looking at where the airstrip is up here. We're going to go ahead and set up a camp there to kind of help us over with the Chippewa that goes over that, or Chihuahua, sorry. And then we'll set up our main camp over in Wenatchee. Where we were 3 years ago, this will tell you, we end up having the same kind of places we come back and revisit. So we're going to be right back probably where the Wenatchee Confluence Park is. So that's what's going on. We feel really optimistic. The weather will give us a break. We'll catch this. It's just a question of having patience. We're still the #1 fire in the United States, so we remain that. So we're starting to get some resources in. We've had people timing out, but now we're starting to get stuff in as well. So we feel really good. We got a good path. We're hoping we have the community support. We really appreciate your patience on this. I'd love to be able to say we did everything at once, but we're trying to balance it for everything else that we got going on. So with that, I'm going to be right over here. So at the end, if you want to have a one-on-one with me, I'll tell you more specifics as it is. So we'll let the other speakers talk, and then I'll be happy to stay as long as you guys need me to. Thank you.